This is Reka Mutaraj. We're cutting in with some breaking news. Air 11 over the scene of a massive fire. This is off of 288 and Holmes Road. This appears to be a junkyard, a salvage yard in the area. There are at least 11 fire crews, fire units on the scene. They were dispatched there just before 11 o'clock. So they've been there for about 20 minutes or so now, trying to put those flames out. We understand from HFD that hazmat crews are on the way. The good news here is so far no injuries have been reported, but you've probably seen the black billowing smoke that we saw just a few minutes ago that was blowing up in that area. You could probably see it off the freeways, especially since this is near 288 near the South Loop. So we're talking 288 in Holmes area, southwest Houston. As you can see, firefighters on the ground and of course up on those ladders trying to get those flames out. Again, this is at a salvage yard in southwest Houston. Just moments ago, we saw thick black smoke. It appears now that smoke is now white. That's a good sign, but the building appears to be on fire, and you can see in the salvage yard there are a lot of cars there as well. It looks like several of them caught fire as well. Still trying to figure out the cause. We don't know what sparked the flames, but looks like firefighters got to jump on it pretty quickly since they were called to the scene just before 11 o'clock, so less than a half hour ago. Again, 11 units on the scene as they battled these flames that are on the southwest side, 288 at Holmes Road, a fire at a salvage yard here. Again, if folks driving in the area, if you're driving on any of those freeways, you could definitely see the smoke just a few moments ago and see the smoke that's happening right now. Again, HFD sending a hazardous material unit to the area to, again, figure out what caused this and if there are any excuse me, hazardous materials that are burning. Houston Fire Department tweeting this information right now, saying they are on scene at 2910 Holmes Road performing extinguishment efforts after receiving reports of a building on fire. Call type upgraded to a 2-alarm. No firefighter or civilian injuries reported. They've got a PIO en route, and they say they're asking folks to avoid the area due to heavy emergency traffic. We do have a crew on the way to get more details at this scene. Again, 2910 Holmes Road at a salvage yard there. Thankfully, no firefighters are injured, no reports of any civilian injuries. Still trying to figure out what caused that building to catch fire. But this is a 2-alarm fire that they're fighting in this heat, of course, on another hot summer day. As we take a live look from Air 11, it appears that they are getting a handle on this. There are several firefighters on the ground and, of course, on those ladders. As we take a look at, now that the flames have cleared a little bit, just how much of that building or shed was destroyed. And we're still trying to figure out what happened and why this all went up in flames. Again, they've been out there for about a half hour now fighting this fire. If you're looking at the image of Air 11, several cars on the bottom left hand of the screen right there, I guess Air 11 moving around now, you can see all of those were burned. Those massive trash cans there also burned, and it looks like a lot of the building is destroyed. All right, so we're going to give you kind of a better idea of where this is all happening in southwest Houston. So we've got a map on the left-hand side of your screen. You can see the salvage yard fire happening off of 288 near the South Loop. So again, for drivers in the area, I'm sure it was quite a sight to be driving by and see that black billowing smoke that was coming up. This is why it's because there's a fire here at the salvage yard. We know that firefighters had just tweeted, if you don't need to be in the area, please avoid it. They're trying to get more emergency vehicles onto the scene to make sure they get all of those flames out. Looks like they're doing a pretty good job. A 2-alarm fire here at a salvage yard in southwest Houston. Again, we saw what appeared to be like an explosion, and the flames really blown up there for a minute, but it looks like firefighters are getting a handle on this situation. They've got several trucks on the ground, and they're really fighting this fire from all angles as we continue to watch them put it out. We cover fires. I'm sorry, what was that? Okay, yeah, so we are getting a lot of calls into our newsroom, drivers going by, giving us a call, asking us what's going on in the area because they definitely saw the flames and the smoke. Smoke dissipating right now. It's turning white. That's always a good sign. So it looks like they're getting a handle on it, but of course very confusing for drivers in the area, especially if you're off 288 or on the south side there. And we can see now this is a TranStar shot. 288 and 610 here, we can see the smoke. If you're looking at our TranStar shot, it's kind of the right-hand side of the box right there. A lot of viewers calling us, folks calling us and wondering what in the world is going on there. That fire, it looks like firefighters are getting a handle on it, but this, of course, happening at a salvage yard on the southwest side as we watch them put those flames out. We, of course, worry when we see these fires. We've seen some big fires in the last couple of weeks in the area. We worry about firefighters in this heat, fighting these flames in these conditions. They have at least 11 units out there. That's according to HFD. And, of course, you want more personnel out there so they can kind of swap in and out and take breaks, because really difficult to manage these fires and fight these fires in this type of weather. Looks like Tim Pandages is here. Meteorologist Tim Pandages. Can we talk a little bit about weather conditions and the wind? Is that a factor in all of this?
It's not too much of a factor. We did hear that hazmat crews were going to be called on scene, so of course you want to know where that smoke plume is going to be moving. We do have winds out of the south today. Notice the wind speed about 5 to 10 miles an hour, so not particularly strong. We've got a pretty vertical smoke plume there that you saw in some of those images from the TranStar cameras. So and the fire is also going to be in the process of being put out and extinguished. So any threat for that smoke plume moving into populated areas is there, but not an overly cautious alert for this, really. You know? So
yeah, when we first saw the flames, maybe even 10-15 minutes ago, that black billowing smoke, that smoke plume was going, like you mentioned, straight up. It was pretty concentrated, but it looks like most of that has dissipated as we're watching firefighters extinguish those flames from the ground, and of course up on those ladders as well, getting it from all angles, making sure they put out every hot spot there. That is key. This is a salvage yard, a lot of cars there. It appears that the fire started in a shed or a building on the property. As you look at the video in the box on the left, that's what it looked like. Those were the phone calls we were getting, people reporting seeing that smoke near 288 and 610 on the southwest side. And that was quite a fire there. Firefighters got on the scene very quickly. They were there just before 11 o'clock, but as we close in about a half hour, 40 minutes later, it appears on the right-hand side, which is a live look now, that firefighters have a handle on this scene. Of course, we're to have more on this fire and other stories coming up today in about a half hour on KHOU 11 News at noon. We'll see you then.
Yourself. Then triple-digit heat hits the Northeast. When will it cool down?